Welcome. We are in session 37 of the course. Actually, in the last session, I said initially that we will discuss suffixes and prefixes, but then after conducting a discussion on suffixes, I think we overlook prefixes. So, today I will start from there and then continue in today's agenda properly. So, suffixes are those little things which come at the end of a word and change the word from one type to another. Okay? Noun to adjective, adjective to verb, verb to noun, and so on. Sometimes noun to noun also, one kind of noun to another kind of noun. Okay? Prefixes typically don't do that. Prefixes fundamentally change the meaning of the word, and this thing is very dramatically expressed in the terminology of Sanskrit grammar. In Sanskrit, favorite expression of grammarians is that through prefixes, the meaning of the root verb is balat anyatra niyate. That means forcibly taken somewhere else. Balat anyatra niyate. So, through prefixes, the meaning of the root verb is forcibly taken somewhere else. Okay? So, same thing happens in other languages also, English also. So, let us see how. Here in this little sample collection, we have got some prefixes and their typical effect or sense in which the resulting word comes out, okay? And then some examples. A as prefix, and then I have given two hyphens here, not one, because sometimes A is accompanied with another letter, quite often a consonant. Example was there in this sentence itself, accompany, company, accompany. Okay? So, typical meanings of A or typical effects of the prefix A is toward, near, that is one sense, and another is not or without. Okay? So, in the sense of toward, near, you see aside, accompany, adjust, allocate. Joining with side, company, just and locate, they change, A changes the meaning in these manners. Okay? In the opposite sense, not or without sense, apolitical, that is something having no political content, atheist, anarchy, apathy. Okay? So, lack of feeling is apathy. Now, another prefix, circum, that has typical meaning of around. Circumstance, circumvent, circumscribe. So, you have a circumcircle also, circulatory. Okay? Contra and counter typically have an against meaning. Okay? It gives something in opposition. Contradict, dict is related to say. Okay? So, if you say something, I say the opposite in order to counter you, then I contradict you. Okay? And if you do something and then I do something else to stop you, then I counteract you. Okay? Contravene, okay? Similarly. Com or con, that is typically expressed, typically used to change the word towards fully or well, nicely. Okay? Complete, compel, condense, confirm. Lots of words in this and variety of slight variations of the tinge of meaning. Okay? D, DED. This typically shows separation from something, away from something, or reverse. Okay? Detach, deploy. When you deploy something away from yourself, you put it in operation in the field. Okay? Derange, deflate. It is opposite of inflate. Inflate, deflate. Okay? Degenerate. So, changing, transforming in a bad or unwanted, undesirable manner. Okay? So, there is degenerate. Dia gives the sense of through or across, diameter, diagonal, dialogue. Dis with I or Y, that is typically in the abnormal sense, not or bad or abnormal. Disconnect, disproportion, disrespect, dysfunctional. Okay? Only bad functional would be malfunctional. Okay? This is a little unpredictable and abnormal. X, the way D is away from, X is typically out of. Okay? Out of, away from also comes in the meaning. Exhale, inhale is to take inside, exhale is to take through outside, breathing. Okay? Exclusive, exceed, going beyond something. Explosion. Okay? Im or in, one meaning is in or near, and examples import, inscribe. So, if you have a figure and inside that figure, almost touching the figure at several points, if you draw something, you inscribe. Okay? Inhabit. So, you see, now here I am not showing the other words, inhabit, inhabitable and so on. The other ones you get with suffixes anyway. And make note, this is something very funny. Habitable and inhabitable mean the same thing. Flammable and inflammable mean the same thing. Okay. So, there are some exceptional cases like that, which are a little awkward. So, im and in are not always opposite. Okay. So, in, near, well, in that sense also they come. And im, in, ill, ir, okay, depending upon whether the next character that comes, that is the first character of the original word, that is m, n, l or r. Okay. It is typically opposite. That is one meaning of im, in, and ill and ir also. Illegible, irresolute, inaction, impossible. Okay. Re typically gives the sense of back or again. Report, you go somewhere to do something and come back and give us a report. Okay. Realign, earlier there was some alignment, you change it. Okay. Retract, take back. Okay. Revise, regain, you had something, you lost it, you regain it. Okay. There are many others. Make an additional list for your exercise. And or expand this list itself with more examples on this side. Okay. More words in every case. Okay. You will get lots of words. Okay. So, this is so far as prefixes are concerned. In today's agenda, we have one important item which can be called in the segment of vocabulary as well as in the segment of syntax. This is a confusing area, confusing topic of phrasal verbs. Okay. So, there are two ways of mastering this. Actually, there is no way to master it really. Okay. But there are two ways of enriching oneself on this. One is to consult such lists and study them in detail along with examples in sentences, and the other is to read a lot of books. Okay. So, and this list that we are giving is extremely limited, because it is not possible for us to compile a huge list and put here, and that is not useful either, because these lists are there everywhere. Okay. So, here I am showing you just a sample in order to emphasize that these are important, these are worth studying. Say with the root word, we put something after that, typically a relation marker, relation word, okay, away, down, in, up, and meanings suddenly and drastically change. Quite often there is no rhyme and reason why they are changing. Break away. Okay. Sometimes there is a faint, flimsy logic, and sometimes not even that. Okay. So, break away, that is leave, escape, or secede. In the secede sense, you can say that towards the end of the previous century, large number of republics broke away from the erstwhile USSR. Okay? So, they broke away, they seceded, breakdown, okay? Break down, fail, collapse, decompose or analyze. So, what we are these days doing with sentences is something like that. We are breaking that down and analyzing. Okay? Break in. Break in is typically enter by force or by some other means also. Okay? Unauthorized. Enter by in an unauthorized manner, that is break in. Okay? Or interrupt. You may break in a dialogue. Okay? Break up. This is dissolve. Okay? So, the corporation was broken up because of huge losses. Okay? Break out. You know of wars or epidemics breaking out, that is erupt. After bring, you can put many other things, many prepositions, relation markers. About, bring about, cause. Okay? Bring down, reduce. Bring forth, to produce. Okay? Bring forward is like showing or highlighting arguments. Okay? Bring forward an issue, bring forward an argument. Okay? Bring in is to introduce. Okay? Bring out is reveal. The facts were brought out through the investigation. Okay? Or publish. Penguin has recently brought out an interesting book on this topic. Okay? Bring round. If somebody has fainted, when you restore him to sense, to consciousness, that is to bring round. Okay? Or sometimes you also bring round or bring around somebody who otherwise was not accepting something, you convince him or persuade him. That is also bringing round or bringing around. Bring under is subdue. We have to bring the rebels under our control. Okay? Fall. With fall, there are lots of them. In fact, in each of them, with each of these, there are more. We made only a selection in each case. Fall. Fall away, leave or desert. That is, some people were earlier part of the group, now they have fallen away. They are not coming anymore to the group meetings and participating in the discussions or activities. Okay? Fall back, retreat. Okay? Come back, fall back. Fall back upon. Okay? So, whatever little bank balance we have, if we lose the jobs, then we have to fall back on that. Okay? Or fall back upon that, both. Fall behind is lag, fall down, collapse. Fall in. When the boss gives the order, then all the other people will fall in line. Okay? Take the correct position or agree. Okay? Fall off, that is diminish. The sales have fallen off. Okay? Now, here we are talking about phrasal verbs, idiomatic use of verb, and that is why we are not counting that kind of usage where you have he fell off the ship. That is literal, that is not phrasal, there is nothing phrasal about it. Okay? So, fall off in the phrasal sense, in the idiomatic sense, is to diminish. Fall out, quarrel. See, this is fall out, two different words. Fall out together is a noun which means result. Okay? So, fall out, we fell out with that other group. Okay? Fall through is fail. Fall upon, you fall upon your enemies and vanquish them. Okay? Assail. Look. Look after, that is take care of. See, phrasal verbs are so prevalent that in order to tell the meaning of one phrasal verb, look after, I have to take recourse to another phrasal verb which is take care of, okay, which will come later. Okay. Look at, there is a difference between see and look at. In 180-degree span, whatever is visible, we see that. But then some important document comes, we look at that. Okay? Behold. Look down on or look down upon. Disdain, despise. Okay? Look for, that is search. And many people say, I am searching for this guy. You are not searching for this guy, You are either looking for this guy or you are searching him. Okay? So, search means look for, okay? Look forward to, that is expect eagerly. I am looking forward to our meeting. Look into, investigate. Now, you see, look at is one level of emphasis. Look into is much more intense. Okay? Look on. Look on has one meaning, which is regard, and another is to watch some event. Okay? Just see, spectate silently without taking part in it. Okay? So, when something dangerous takes place, you look on, you do not get into it. Okay? Look out, watch. Look over is examine, look over the accounts. Okay? Look up, do you look up the dictionary for difficult words? You refer to find something. Look up to, that is respect. Okay? So, you look up to your teachers, okay, or parents. Take is another which takes a lot of such relational markers later to give rise to a lot of phrasal verbs. Take aback, this has a very peculiar origin. Okay. Look up the origin sometime in the references. So, aback means from behind. Okay. Take aback, it means to astonish, but I have never seen its use unless in the third form. Only in the third form I have found its use. We were taken aback by his sudden appearance. Okay. So, other than third form, in no other form I have seen its use. Take after is resemble. Okay. Take away is remove. Take back, literal meaning is also there. I give you a book and then one day I take it back. That is literal meaning. But take back typically is used in the sense of retracting your word or promise. Okay. Take down is very simple, quickly write down. Okay. Take in, admit or deceive. Okay. Take for, assume or consider. Do you take me for a fool? No, no sir. Okay. So, do you consider me or do you assume me to be a fool? That is the idea. Okay. Take off. So far as coat or shoe is concerned, it is remove. Okay. On the other hand, for aeroplane, take off means to move forward or upward suddenly with high speed. Okay. For aeroplane, it is forward and upward at the same time. For police search team, it will be forward only. Take on. Take on has several meanings. One is to hire, other is to undertake and confront also. Okay. Take over. We will take over the entire operation. Okay. Acquire control of. Take up, occupy. This activity takes up a lot of my time. Okay. Or start. Next, we will take up assignment 38. Okay. And accept also. We took up the responsibility and so on. There are many others. Okay. Huge number of them. So, for an exercise, make an additional list. Okay. First, make the list from whatever you know and remember, and then consult some good references, and then verify your compilation till now and add some more. Okay. And for this list itself, try adding more phrasal verbs for the same root verb. In the root verb, we have not exhausted the phrasal verbs. Put some more things and get some more. Okay. And you should complete this study by constructing some illustrative examples in sentences. Okay. Illustrative sentences. Okay. Which will use them in the appropriate context. Okay. So, we go to our segment on syntax, which is extremely important. We have done a lot of parsing of simple, compound and complex sentences. Now, we come to the most difficult one, okay? Mixed sentences. We had entered and the doctor had preceded us into what was evidently his waiting room. Now, in this, the new aspect, the funny part of it is that this subordinate clause, what was evidently his waiting room, this is coming in both the other clauses in such a bad manner that we could not frame it into the normal style in which we like to frame these parsing examples. So, here we had entered this thing, what was evidently his waiting room, and the doctor had preceded us into the same thing. Okay. So, these are the two coordinating clauses in this otherwise compound looking sentence. Okay. We had entered what was evidently his waiting room, and the doctor had preceded us into it. Okay. So, you see, for enter you do not need into. So, this into is coming only for the second case. Okay. So, you enter a place, you basically go into it or you come into it. So, here this subclause is operating like object, had entered the room, and here that subclause with the into together is giving the phrase which is qualifying preceded. Okay. And this part is very obvious, subject, verb and object, and then things qualifying other things. This part is easy. Okay. Continue. Okay. So, to look at it from outside, it looks like a compound sentence. Okay. This from to police. Okay. Then it is surmised onwards till the end, another clause connected with this cumulative connector and. Okay. So, this is one thing and this is another thing that is being communicated in this sentence. So, let us look at this first. Nothing has been seen. This is the skeleton of this part. Okay. Nothing qualified by of the three murderers, elaborated. Okay. So, this much is the subject, nothing of the three murderers. Verb is this, has been seen, and two phrases, two adverb phrases qualify this has been seen by the police from that night. Simple. And it is surmised that, etc. Okay. Now, you notice what is surmised? Not it, it is dummy only. This is surmised. Okay. So, this huge clause is going to be actually the subject. You could remove that it and put this whole thing here. Okay. So, that, etc. up to Oporto is surmised. Where? At Scotland Yard. Fine. And what is the thing that has been surmised? Let us see that. That huge noun clause is the thing that has been surmised. That they were something, complement. Okay. And what is that? Among the passengers, another phrase inside that. So, this is a phrase. Okay. And inside that another phrase, of the ill-fated steamer Nora Kraina. Now, Nora Kraina is being particularly specified so that people do not confuse, to remind the reader that this is that Nora Kraina which came in news for such and such reason, which was lost. This is the skeleton part of this adjective clause, okay, which was lost. Now, lost when? Some years ago. In what manner or how? With all hands. Yeah, actually this could be broken into two parts. With all hands, and then the other one where? Upon the Portuguese coast. And to elaborate, upon the Portuguese coast, the same thing, some leagues to the north of Oporto. Inside this, another phrase, these things come. Okay. Till this point and the rest. Okay. So, these are the two main parts of the sentence. Okay. So, nominally or externally, it is a compound sentence. Okay. So, try to understand this, then try to understand and then try to understand this. Good enough. Okay. So, however, is of course exterior to the sentence in a way, it is connecting its sense to the previous sentence. The skeleton of the sentence is here. He seized. Okay. And suddenly, okay, and this is one adverb. Another adverb is coming from here, okay. As I sat writing, this is a clause. I sat writing could have been a sentence, okay. So as I sat writing, so actually this sat writing we have annotated as verb, but you could also say I sat is the actual skeleton, and how did I sit? So writing, okay. Fifth form qualifying the verb, regular enough, okay. So one adverb, this clause qualifying seized, suddenly another, and a third one to describe the purpose, okay. To give any answer. To give, this give is qualified further by at all, and this answer is qualified further by to my inquiries, okay. So I am not going into the detail which is adjective and which is adverb, because if it is qualifying a noun, then it is an adjective, and if it is qualifying a verb, then it is adverb, okay. And it is not important either, as long as we understand the meaning correctly, who is qualifying what, okay. And the second thing, in that I was shocked is the main thing, okay. And under what circumstances? Shocked, was shocked on my turning towards him, okay. So this turning is this original verb turn of this turning is actually getting qualified further with towards him, okay. On my turning towards him, I was shocked. And further, why did I get shocked? Why was I shocked? To see something, okay. That is the object of see. That he was sitting. This much is not something very surprising, but how? Bolt upright. Where? In his chair. And how? Another answer, staring at me, okay. Another answer of how, with a perfectly blank and rigid face, okay. So very rich sentence with a lot of content. This sentence is basically you will acknowledge, okay, and qualified with a lot of things, okay. You will acknowledge what? That is coming here, of course, okay, and when? That is coming here. So this is externally a complex sentence with two clauses, okay. One noun clause coming here operating as the object of the verb acknowledge, and another giving the time of that or the condition of that, okay. So this is the bigger one. When I tell you, now this whole thing is the object to tell. When I tell you something, that two things. So inside this subordinate clause of this subordinate clause, you have a compound sentence, okay. So two things. His shoes were square-toed with this phrase, qualified with this phrase, instead of being pointed like Blessington's, and his shoes, implied in the second part, were quite an inch and a third longer than the doctor's. As you break down, the meaning becomes clear, okay. When I tell you all these things, both of these funny, uncommon things, then you will acknowledge something, that there can be no doubt, okay. There, dummy subject, no doubt is the actual subject, okay. Doubt regarding what? As to his individuality, okay. This is fine. Okay. Let us take another example. Terrific sentence, okay. Let us analyze it. So there are two clauses joined with a very innocent and, okay. So however, this however is exterior, okay. However, something and something else, okay. And what is the first thing after that? However, what is the first thing that is being said in this sentence? He was still living, okay. This is the main part, okay. He is being qualified by a quality of that man, rich, okay. and wretch, that word is being emphasized by that verb as he was. This is a clause. Okay. Now, then was living still is an adverb, and another adverb is where, okay, under the shield of British law. Okay. So, this was one statement, and then connected with this, author or speaker is telling the inspector something more. This is what he wanted to tell all along. Okay. Inspector is of course address. Main part of the clause here is I have no doubt. Doubt. Doubt is actually identified or connected with something. Now, here we have inserted this about the fact, okay, because that is the sense. Okay. So, we have I have no doubt about something, and that something is separately coming. This is a typical use. Okay. I have no doubt about the fact. What is that fact? That you will see. And what the inspector will see? See. The object to that verb see is, here there are two clauses, and those two clauses are slightly in opposition. Okay. That, and that opposition is given by this connecting word. This though is connecting these two clauses in opposition to each other. This that is connecting this entire clause to the verb here. Okay. Though that shield may fail to guard, subject, verb, purpose, the sword of justice is still there to avenge. The sword is the subject, of justice is elaboration, is the verb, that is all actually. Okay. This there is actually dummy, whether you call it dummy subject coming later or you call it dummy complement, because there is nothing to complete, nothing there. Okay. Still is an adverb, to avenge is purpose. Okay. So, this has quite a bit of complication, and one needs to read it a little slowly to appreciate the full import of the sentence. The next one, which is the last in our examples. Okay. So, in the first part, I suspected is the main thing. Okay. I suspected. When and what? Okay. When a moment later I saw. In this clause, this is the main thing. I saw what? Your eyes. Eyes. In what manner? Wander away, or wandering away actually, the sense of it, away from the picture. Okay. When this happened, then I suspected what? That your mind had turned now to the civil war. Okay. So, this is one part of communication in this sentence. Okay. So, one clause, and the other part of the communication is here. I suspected and I was positive. Okay. I was positive. When? When I observed three things, that your lips set, your eyes sparkled, and your hands clenched. When these many things I observed, then I was positive. Positive about what? About the fact, and the fact is coming as this noun clause. Okay. That you were indeed thinking. You were thinking. Okay. Thinking, were thinking, qualified by indeed. Thinking of what? Qualified by this. Of the gallantry. Which gallantry? Adjective clause. Which was shown. Okay. Shown by both sides in that desperate struggle. Okay. So, meaning in step by step, in broken down format becomes clear. Okay. Do you know how many clauses are there in this? Do not count phrases, just count clauses. I am sure it is more than 10. One is this large one, and two more here inside. So, 3 here. Okay. fourth is this huge one, okay, and then 5 is this big one, 5 is this big one, 6, 7, 8, and then ninth is this clause, okay, and 10 inside. Okay. So, 10 are there, 1, 2, 3 on that side, 4 here, 5, 6, 7, 8, then this 9, and then this 10. Okay. So, 10 clauses. There are authors, Arthur Conan Doyle himself, who quite often write 12, 14, 15, they do not have any limits, okay, and that comes out as brilliant, beautiful composition. You need to appreciate it, you need to praise it, and you need to be happy, you need to be pleased with that, and that is why you need to break them nicely. Okay. Enormously nice things people have written and published, we should read it and appreciate. Okay. So, I stop here and we continue tomorrow here with something more on sentences and something more on words. Thank you.